Hi, my name is Neil Kelleher. In the following video or set of videos, I'll be going over a sequence of poses for helping to improve your hamstring flexibility or your forward bend. And rather than strictly speaking, and rather than restricting myself just to forward bending poses, I'm going to include some other poses designed to help you learn to feel and control your hamstrings so that you can better improve your flexibility while doing things like forward bend. So be prepared for a number of different exercises to improve body awareness and control so that you can then apply the same awareness to hamstring flexibility. The first exercise for working towards improved hamstring flexibility is actually a spinal awareness exercise. And you can start this exercise either sitting cross-legged. You could also do it while sitting in a chair. You could also do it whilst kneeling. To begin with, focus on feeling your sacrum, the triangular bone between your buttocks, and you can let your weight sink. You can let your sacrum sink down so you're in a slumped position. From there, feel your sacrum gradually, slowly lift your sacrum, and then lower it. And repeat this a few times. Slowly lift your sacrum and then lower it. And notice the smooth way that I do the movement. So rather than try doing the movement like this and then this, try to gradually or smoothly move your sacrum upwards and then smoothly lower it. Repeat that a few times and then bring your awareness to your lumbar spine. This is a part of the spine between the pelvis and the rib cage. As you lift your sacrum, focus on feeling your lumbar spine bending backwards. Then as you drop the sacrum, allow your lumbar spine to bend forward. And again, try to avoid any sudden or jerky movements. Smoothly lift your sacrum, bend your lumbar spine backwards, and then smoothly bend it forwards. From there, expand your awareness so that you also feel the thoracic spine. This is part of the spine that the ribs attach to. So feel your lumbar spine and your thoracic spine. Lift your sacrum, bend your lumbar spine backwards, and then bend your thoracic spine backwards. And then lower your sacrum, bend your lumbar and thoracic spine forwards. Again, smooth, bend backwards, and then bend forwards. Now from there, you can repeat that a few more times by yourself. Focus on moving slowly and smoothly. From there, keep your sacrum and pelvis relatively still. Focus just on the thoracic spine. You can allow your thoracic spine to sag a little bit. Focus on bending your thoracic spine backwards so your chest lifts. Notice I'm not looking up, I'm still looking straight ahead. And then bend your thoracic spine so your chest sinks down. Bend your thoracic spine backwards. You may feel the spinal erectors activating. These are the muscles either side of your spine as you bend backwards, and then they relax as you bend forwards. You can also think of this as lifting the chest, expanding it. That's on the bend backward when you're bending backwards. And then when you bend forwards, let your chest sink down. You could almost slump if you like. And you don't have to keep your sacrum absolutely still. It can move a little bit if you like, but keep your focus on the thoracic spine. Bend it backwards, and then allow it to bend forward. Another warm-up exercise for hamstring stretching is tabletop yoga pose. And for this pose, because a lot of my focus is on increasing body awareness and then using that body awareness within any type of exercise, in this pose, we'll focus first on feeling the shoulders. So with your chest lifted, so your thoracic spine bent backward, and it doesn't have to be a lot, just a comfortable amount so your chest is comfortably lifted. Move your shoulders back and then forward. And as you move your shoulders back, you can focus on feeling the inside edges of your shoulder blades moving together. And then relax. You can have your hands on the floor, you can lean back, move your shoulder blades together so your shoulders move back, and then relax. And when you relax, you can actually let your ribcage sink down between your shoulders. So now move your shoulder blades together so your shoulders move back, and then from there bend your thoracic spine backwards. Notice how this lifts my chest. My hands are still on the floor, and then relax. Try to relax smoothly and slowly. What you may find as you move your shoulder blades together, you feel your hands pressing down. As you bend your thoracic spine backwards, you may also feel your hands pressing down a little bit more. From there, place your feet on the floor. Press down with your feet just enough to lift your butt clear off the floor. It's not a lot, just so you feel the weight of your body being borne by your hands and your feet. Then touch the floor and relax everything. So here again, shoulder blades together, bend your spine backwards, feel your hands pressing down. Next, press your feet down, lift your hips, press your feet down a little bit more. You may feel your thighs activating, and that's the importance of this exercise. Feel your thighs, feel your butt activating to lift your pelvis higher. Then from here, you can accentuate the opening of the chest. Reach your chest backwards, again bending your thoracic spine back. And then use your hips, use your butt muscles to lift your hips higher, and then relax. Again, shoulders back, shoulder blades together, bend your spine backwards, bend your thoracic spine backwards, lift your hips. Then gradually lift your legs higher, and as you do so, feel your butt activating to open up the front of the hip joints. You can hold this for a few breaths. Inhale. As you inhale, reach your chest back, exhale, relax. Inhale, and then exhale and relax. And repeat that a few more times if you like. But hopefully by doing that, you may find that you're a little bit warmer, your shoulders and arms are warm, and you've also gotten used to activating and feeling the back of your hip joint and the back of your thighs. Now in tabletop yoga pose, you're lifting the hips, and by lifting the hips, you're helping to open the front of the hip joint. For the next exercise, this is a variation on a pose called boat pose. Lift your chest, so open your chest, bend your thoracic spine forwards, reach your arms forward. And when reaching your arms forward, you could actually focus on moving your shoulders forward so that the inside edges of the shoulder blades spread. Now from there, lean back. Notice my heels are still touching the floor. From here, I'm going to call this as if I'm mirroring you, lift your right leg. And notice I'm not moving my upper body, I'm not bending it. This stays still. So move your right leg, try to move the knee towards the chest. Hold for a moment and then touch the foot to the floor. Try to keep this part of your body still. Then lift your left knee, pull your knee up and back. Focus on feeling the thigh like you're trying to close the front of the hip joint. Then put the foot down. Repeat with the right leg. Pull the knee up and back. And then down. And then with the left leg, pull the knee up and back. And then down. Just repeat that a few times and then come up to sitting. You can rest in this position. And the idea of this exercise, so again, in tabletop, you're opening up the front of the hip joint. Now in this pose, you're focused on using the muscles at the front of the hip joint, so you're actually opening up the back of the hip joint. So that this exercise is a better preparation for forward bending, now you can add on a knee straightening action. So after resting for a few moments, lift your chest, reach your arms forward, spread the shoulder blades so the shoulders move forwards. And again, lean back. You can make your neck long by drawing your ears away from your shoulders. Here again, lift the right leg, pull the knee towards the chest, and then slowly straighten the knee. And then relax. And then the other side, bring the left knee to the chest, straighten the knee, pause, and then relax. I'll give you an option in a moment. So again, knees to the chest, one knee to the chest, straighten the knee as much as you can. If you can't straighten the knee, just straighten it as much as possible. And then relax, knee to the chest, straighten the knee as much as possible, and then relax and then sit up. What you may find helpful, and this I usually introduce after a few classes or maybe not at all, it depends on the level of the students, you may want to contract the side of the waist that you're lifting the leg on. So, and rather than contracting the abs and bending the spine forwards, what you can do is keep your chest lifted and then contract one side of the abs or the others without bending your spine forward. So you actually be activating muscles on the back of the body so that your spine stays straight. So you can practice first just with the leg lift. So Focus on the right side, contract the right side, and then lift the right knee, pull it in, and then relax, and then contract the left side, lift the left knee, and then relax. And then do it with the knee straightening action. Contract the right waist, pull the right knee into the chest, straighten the knee, then relax. Squeeze the left waist, bring the left knee to the chest, straighten the knee, and then relax, and then sit up. So now, before we go into the next forward bending exercise, I will introduce another back bending exercise. So this time, instead of having the knees bent, have the knees straight. As in tabletop yoga pose, move the shoulder blades back, bend the spine backwards, and press the hands into the floor. If you find you're having wrist problems or wrist discomfort, I would suggest pressing the fingertips into the floor, so make your fingers feel strong. So the sequence there could be shoulder blades back, bend the spine backwards, press the fingertips into the floor. And then from there, for reverse plank, press your heels down, lift your hips. And you can start off here, you can move side to side a little bit. Try to find a place where both feet, both legs feel the same. You can try squeezing not just your butt, but the back of the thighs as well, the hamstrings, and then relax. Shoulder blades back, bend your spine backwards, press your fingers into the floor. You could even squeeze the back of the upper arms and make the elbows feel strong also. Press the legs down, lift your hips a little bit. Try squeezing your butt muscles, try squeezing the hamstrings, and then from there, if you like, go a little bit higher. Try to keep the chest open, keep your chest reaching back, and then lower down. I'm not too bothered about reaching the feet forward. I'd suggest the more important action is focusing on pressing the heels down in order to lift the hips higher. If you want to reach your feet forward, do so. If they don't touch the floor, don't worry about it. The focus in this set of exercises on improving hamstring flexibility. So again, one more time, shoulder blades together, shoulders back. Bend the thoracic spine backwards, press the fingertips into the floor. If you like, squeeze the back of the arms here. Squeeze the muscles at the back of the arms. Press the feet down. You can play around a little bit if you like. Move the sacrum forward a little bit so your pubic bone moves back, or move the sacrum back a little bit. So if you move the sacrum forward, that'll flatten the lumbar spine. If you move the sacrum back, that'll increase the backward curvature of your lumbar spine. Lift a little bit higher. Try to feel both legs, the back of both legs activating evenly. Reach your chest back. You may find it helpful to pull the hands slightly forwards a little bit. So hold for a few breaths if you like, or just go up and down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and then gradually release. For the next exercise, sit up nice and tall. And this is where you can get into limitations. If you cannot sit up straight with your knee straight, if you find you're leaning back a little bit or like this, you may want to skip this exercise out for now until you develop the flexibility to at least sit upright, or even enough that you can bend forwards a little bit and move ahead to standing, some standing hamstring flexibility exercises instead. But if you have the ability to at least sit upright or hopefully bend forward a little bit, then this next set of exercises is hopefully suitable for you. And to begin with, you can focus on feeling your knees and your thighs. Press both knees down into the floor. So the back of the knees, try to press it down into the floor. And as you do so, feel the front of your thighs, your quadriceps activating. For some people, the heels may lift off of the floor. Once you have the gentle action, rather than just pressing down and releasing suddenly, see if you can smoothly press down. So gradually increase the downward pressure of your knees. Feel your quadriceps activating, and then gradually relax. Smoothly and slowly press down, and then relax. And if you like, while pressing down, you can try spreading your toes, and then relax. Now for the next exercise, reach your hands forward. Again, chest lifted. Press your left knee down. So left leg presses down. Then from there, engage your right abs if possible. Lift your right leg, pull it up, keeping the knee straight, and then relax. And I'll show you from the side. Now switch legs. Press your right knee down, keep it strong, and then left side of your abs engage. Pull your left leg up. Notice I'm keeping the knee straight, and then relax. And this is almost like this exercise where you pull the knee in and then straighten the leg, but instead of pulling the knee in and then straightening the leg, you're using the same activation just to pull the thigh up while keeping the knee straight. And the idea of this is to train you in using the hip flexors. These are the muscles that bend the hip forward. As an example, the opposing muscle, the hip extensors, your butt muscle, they bend the hip backwards. The hips extensors bend the hip forward, and in general they work on the front of the hip. So in this exercise, what you're doing is pressing one leg down, and then you're using the hip extensors of one leg to lift the leg and close the front of the hip joint. So try that a couple more times. This time, press the left knee down, your left knee, lift the right leg, then relax, press the right leg down, abs engaged, lift the left leg, relax. And if all you can do is pull up on the thigh, that's fine. Get a feeling of pulling up on the thigh, feel this contracting, feel the leg pulling upwards. You could, that is absolutely fine. The main requirement is to feel the front of the leg activating. Being able to actually lift the leg is a bonus. For the next exercise, again in the seated position, if you need to rest from the hip activation, you could do tabletop yoga pose again, or the reverse plank yoga pose. That is just to give yourself a break from the forward bending. And but once you've done that, come back, sit up straight, and then bend forward. And rather than bending your spine forward, keep your chest open, keep your neck long, reach your arms forward. And again, the shoulder blades can spread in this position. From here, basically the same action again. Press your left knee down, pull your right thigh up. Now, instead of actually lifting the right thigh, pull up and use the pulling up action to tilt your pelvis forward, the right side of your pelvis forward, and then relax. And then press this knee down, press your right knee down, pull up on the left thigh, so your left hip bends forward, and then relax. Press your left knee down, pull up on the right thigh, bend your right hip forward, and then relax. Press down with the right knee, pull up on the left thigh, bend your left hip forward, and then relax. And then once you are comfortable with that exercise, rest if you need to. Try lifting both thighs at the same time. Chest open, neck long. Pull both thighs up, tilt both sides of your pelvis forwards, and then relax. Pull up on both sides, pull up on both thighs, tilt your pelvis forward, and then relax. And from the side, chest open, neck long, pull up on both thighs, and then relax. Now from there, usually I may do a tabletop or plank pose again, so you could do that just to recover. Another exercise I like to do, because from here I generally move to standing, is to spread the knees, bring the feet together, and then see if you can rock up to a squat position. So from here, feet lifted, reach forward, and then relax, reach forward, relax. If you cannot come up, what may help is to lean back, and then from there use momentum to try and roll up onto your feet. That's just a fun way and hopefully a useful way to work up towards to get from sitting to standing. So from here we'll go up into some standing poses just to again explore some more hamstring flexibility while standing. And this will be appropriate if your hamstring flexibility is extremely limited. So for the next exercise is basically triangle forward bend. You call this trikonasana. Because I think I'm slightly out of frame, I'll just talk you through the general setup. Notice my legs are about a leg length from front to back. My legs are about a leg length from front to back. Viewed from the front, you could have your back foot out to the side a little bit. This, if you're comfortable with if you can get your hips squared at the front, this is fine. I generally prefer a slightly more open stance for this, since the focus is on hamstring flexibility. Once you have the basics, you can experiment with different distance side to side with your legs apart. Also important, notice that my back foot is turned out so that my back heel can touch the floor. Now from here, with one leg forward, turn your hips square to the front leg. Notice as I turn my hips forward, I pivoted my back foot, basically finding a position that is comfortable for the back foot, knee, and hip. Hips are square to the front. From here, you could open your chest, slowly bend forward. If you need to, if you've got them, place yoga blocks on the floor, touch your hands to the floor. Now with respect to yoga blocks, I know I tend to be very tight when it comes to buying, tight in spending money when buying accessories. But yoga blocks can be very handy, and it's a lot easier than piling up a bunch of books. So if you are tight, I'd strongly recommend getting a set of yoga blocks so that you can use them. 4 might be even better, because then you can raise them up a little bit higher and have 2 for each hand if you need them. But anyway, so if you need it, use yoga blocks. Place your hands on the yoga blocks. Notice that my hands are pressing down. Now from here, the basic exercise is to develop some leg stability, and that hopefully will enable your hamstrings over the course of time to relax. So from here, the exercise is to slowly lift the hands. Notice how I relax my hands, and then I lift my hands off of the blocks, and then I place them down again so that my right leg in particular can relax. So here again, the action you may find, I'll do it like this. In order to lift the hands, first of all, focus on the front of the right foot, front of your front foot. Press the front of the foot down. Maybe try opening the back of the right knee, like you did when pressing the knee down while sitting. Activate the quadricep, and then from there, slowly lift the hands just a little bit, place the hand back down. Press the hands down, and then let the right leg relax. If you like, you can sink the rib cage down a little bit. So again, on the blocks, press the front of the right foot down. See if you can feel the back of the right knee. Make the back of the right knee feel open. Then activate the right quadricep. That may happen as you open up the knee. Then with the right leg braced, relax the arms. Then try and lift them just a little bit. Then press the hands back down. Repeat this a few times. Then if you like, you could move from here into revolving triangle. You can have the hand on a block, like so if you like. Turn your rib cage in the same direction as the front foot side. So my right foot's forward, I'm going to turn my rib cage to the right. Use your front leg, push your pelvis back, and then from there reach your ribs forward. Open your chest if you like, reach the arm up. Then from here, same thing, brace your front leg. Press the front of the foot down, open the back of the knee, engage the quadricep, and then try and lift the bottom hand, and then put it down. Brace with the hand so you can relax the leg. Make the leg strong. Lift the hand and lower, and then when you're ready, come back up to standing. Try the same thing. Try the same thing on the other side. Now, variation on the triangle forward fold is, I'll call it a triangle vinyasa, or moving exercise. So again, start with the same position, and now lift your ribs. Hopefully I'm still in frame. From here, slowly bend forward. If your hands can touch the floor, fine. If not, don't worry about it. Just let your arms hang down, and then slowly stand up. Notice the speed at which I'm doing this. Slowly bend forward. Notice the feeling in your leg as you bend forward. Notice the way your foot presses down. Notice the feeling in the back of the knee, back of the thigh, even the front of the thigh. You may have to consciously activate your quadricep and then slowly stand up. If you like, if you're able, you can bend forward. You can allow your hands to touch the floor. And once your hands are on the floor, you can take some of the weight with your hands. What you may find is that as your leg relaxes, you can go slightly lower using your arms to help lower the rib cage. And then brace with the leg as you did before. Press the front of the foot down. Open the back of the knee, quadricep engaged. Lift the hand, and then slowly stand up. So repeat that a few times. You could also go from that exercise to a twist. So bending forward, you can twist your rib cage as you bend forward. Allow your left hand, your bottom hand to touch the floor. You can brace yourself with the hand. See if you can bend forward a little bit more while twisting at the same time. Then brace the front leg. lift the hand, and slowly stand up. And repeat that a few times. And all of these exercises, whether just staying bent forward and lifting the hands or bending forward and then standing back up, the idea is to develop stability in your leg, and hopefully that will help you improve your hamstring stability, your hamstring flexibility. In addition, you're also learning, hopefully, to take the weight of your upper body and bear it using your hands so that your leg can relax, and then learning to turn the leg back on so that you can stand up smoothly and in control. And for all of these exercises, you can always use yoga blocks if they are handy. Now I'll show you another variation. So this time I'll show you again using yoga blocks. Again, if you're flexible enough, you don't need the yoga blocks. So again, hips square to the front, both knees straight, both heels flat on the floor, bend forward. And this is very similar to the first exercise, however, we'll add a little bit on. Now, first step, once you're bent forward, brace the leg. Press the front of the foot down. Try to open the back of the knee a little bit. Activate the quadricep. So as you press open the back of the knee, you may find your quadricep activates automatically. You could also pay attention to your back foot. Maybe press the front of the back foot into the floor. You may find your, hopefully you can see that, you may find your leg roll slightly outwards here. And maybe adjust your front back position of your pelvis. See if you can find a position where the pelvis is level. Now from there, once you've braced the front leg, open your chest. So bend your thoracic spine backwards, and as you do so, you may find your hands lift off of the floor simply by the action of bending your thoracic spine backwards. You can also lengthen the leg, lengthen the neck, and then bend your thoracic spine forward, hands on the floor. So again, brace the leg, brace both legs if you like, slowly bend the thoracic spine backwards, lengthen the neck, lift the hands, then slowly bend forward, place the hands on the floor. Once your hands are on the floor, your leg can relax, and if you like, you could bend the elbow, see if you can sink your chest down a little bit more. So again, brace the leg, bend the thoracic spine backwards, lengthen the neck, lift the hands. You'll feel some strain here, then bend forwards, hands on the floor. Once the hands are on the floor, you can try relaxing the leg, bend the elbows, and let the chest sink down. Another option, if you like, brace the leg, open the chest, lengthen the neck. If you like, add more weight, make your hamstring and butt muscle work a little bit more. Reach the hands forward, try to make your arms feel long, and then relax. Brace the leg, open the chest, lengthen the neck, reach the arms forward. You'll feel your leg working here. And then when you place your hands back on the floor, you'll probably feel more inclined to use your arms to support your rib cage so that your leg can relax. Then what you could do, if you like, reaching the arms forward, keep the arms reaching forward as you stand up. So repeat that, any of those options. What I would suggest is, what I normally do is I'll use one option one day, then the next day I teach the same pose. I'll use the next option depending on the level of my students. Then I'll gradually build up on that. So try them all, see which works for you, and as you find your leg stability improving, you can experiment with the different options. Use whichever one feels good for you on that particular day. Now after doing triangle forward bend, sometimes one way of resting from that or recovering is to do a standing side bend. And I like to do a standing side bend just because that works the body slightly differently. And one of the things that I like to use in a standing side bend, and this can be used either in standing forward bends and sitting forward bends as well, is the action of making the thighs, pressing the thighs wide apart from each other, and then drawing the thighs inwards. Now you can practice this action while standing with the knees slightly bent, like so, feet about shoulder width apart. Press the thighs apart, and what you may find if you do it slowly enough, and if you repeat it, you'll feel the outer thighs activating, and then relax. Press the thighs out, feel the outer thighs activating, and then relax. And then do the same in the opposite direction. Pull the thighs inwards, feel the inner thighs activate, and then relax. Pull the thighs inwards, feel the inner thighs activating, and then relax. Now from there, again, standing with feet parallel, knees pointing straight ahead. Bend your spine to one side. So bend your lumbar spine, bend your thoracic spine, in this case to the right. And then from there, push your hips to the left. You can reach one hand to the right and then the other hand. Notice the upper hand I'm reaching upwards rather than having the elbow bent. Make both arms straight, and if you like, roll this side of the ribcage back. Then while holding the pose, press the thighs away from each other, so both outer thighs activated, then relax. Then do the opposite, move the inner thighs towards each other, and then relax. Thighs away from each other, relax. Thighs towards each other, and then relax. Then come up, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. One other action which isn't directly forward bending related but may help with body awareness and hip stability is a half moon pose. And in general, what I like to do, I might do one side standing side bend, and from there turn one foot out 90 degrees, shift all the weight onto that one foot. The other foot is lifted. And this could be a good preparation position, just standing like so, balancing on one foot with the other leg lifted. After holding here for a few moments, you can turn your pelvis square to the front. And that may be difficult. You may have to lift this hip higher or lower so that this hip has room for the pelvis to tilt forwards. And then from there, you can try slowly lowering the hand to the floor. This knee can be bent or straight. Touch the hand to the floor and then focus on lifting this leg higher. And what you could do, you could try opening the back of this knee. You could also try squeezing the hamstring just to get used to activating that. And then if you like, for hip stability on this side, you could try lifting the hand, staying balanced, and then slowly, standing up. So do the side bend. Widen the thighs to activate the outer thighs, and then relax, and then pull the thighs inwards to activate the inner thighs, then relax. Then do the half moon pose, balancing on one leg, first reasonably upright and then tilting forward, and then relax, and then move into the next forward bending yoga pose. So a very simple way to use the outer thighs and then the inner thighs is in a standing forward bend. And again, if you need to, you can use blocks. You could even use a chair, rest your hands on the seat or the back of the chair if your flexibility is limited. You could also use a table, rest your hands on the edge of the table. So from here, my feet are about hip width, shoulder width apart, parallel knees, toes both pointing straight ahead. And I'll show you from the back. From here, what you could do, widen the thighs, press the thighs out so the outer thighs activate, then relax. And then move the thighs inwards, activate the inner thighs, and then relax. It may be hard to see on the video, but most importantly, see if you can feel it. Press the thighs apart, maybe feel the action here as well as here, and then relax, and then feel the inner thighs, press the thighs towards each other, and then relax. The knees can be slightly bent for that, or you can work at making them gradually straighter. If possible, use blocks if necessary. Try to make your rib cage, your chest a little bit open. It doesn't have to be bent backwards like this, but reasonably open as opposed to bent forward. And then again, I like to focus on the back of the neck, make the back of the neck feel long. Thighs wide, activate the outer thighs. Try to make both thighs feel the same, relax. You may find your chest can sink down a little bit. Press the thighs together. Lengthen at the same time, relax. You may find your chest sinks down. Press the thighs out, lengthen your spine. Relax, press the thighs together, lengthen the spine, and then relax. A slightly more advanced muscle activation technique you can use, particularly while doing standing forward bend, is to first focus on the front of the hip crest, the A6, and pull that inwards. And this will be easier to do while standing. Then relax. And so these two bones here, your hip bones, just try and pull inwards and then relax. And then at the same time, once you've got used to that exercise, you may find it actually easier to start with the sitting bones. As you pull the front of the hip crest in, try to widen the sitting bones, these two bones here. If you feel the top of the thigh bone, the greater trochanter, and your sitting bone, try pulling the sitting bones outwards towards the greater trochanter, and then relax. Sitting bones out towards the greater trochanter. Your butt may activate, relax. Then try widening the sitting bones at the same time. Pull the front crease of the hip crest, the front of the hip crest in, and then relax. And then do that in this position, knee slightly bent, hands on your thighs. Widen the sitting bones. You may find your sitting bones lift at the same time. Relax. Widen the sitting bones. Relax. And then widen the sitting bones. Afterwards, pull the front of the hip crest in. Relax. Widen the sitting bones. Pull the front of the hip crest in. Relax. Then try the same thing, bend forward. Either here, or gradually going lower. Widen the sitting bone, pull the front of the hip crest in, then relax. Widen the sitting bone, pull the front of the hip crest in, and then relax. Repeat that a few times. After your first few practices using that action, you may find that once you're comfortable enough with it, then try pulling the front of the hip crest in first, then widen the sitting bone, see how that feels. You may find it feels better, or that you can go deeper, or you may find there's no difference. But experiment, see what works for you best on any given day. And now from here, we'll go back to some seated hamstring flexibility exercises. In the triangle forward bend, the basic exercise was to brace the leg and then lift the arms. And then from there, you place the hands back on the floor and let the chest sink down. You can do a similar thing, a similar action in seated forward bend. And what I'd suggest, the same basic action that I'm going to talk about, you can do it with legs wide, turn towards one leg. You could have one leg in hurdler stretch, legs 90 degrees, either the instep of the foot on the floor or the top of the foot on the floor, bending towards a straight leg. You could have the foot in seated tree pose, otherwise known as Janu Shasasana, again bending towards the straight leg. You could have the leg like so, here again bending towards a straight leg. But the basic action is the same in all of these poses. So with legs wide, say, you can turn towards one leg, have the hands on the floor either side of the leg. Turn your ribcage towards the leg and bend forward. And what you can do here is use the arms to support your upper body, your chest, and ideally you can relax the leg. And then what you can try to do, press the knee down, like we did in the very first set of exercises. Press the knee down, quadricep engaged, try open up the ribcage, lengthen the neck, and then from there, see if the hands can relax because your leg is supporting the body. Lift the hands. Put the hands back on the floor. Support your upper body with your arms. Relax the leg. If you can sink your ribcage down a little bit. Repeat, press the knee down, engage the quadricep, open the chest, lengthen the neck, lift the hands. Notice how slowly and smoothly, that's the more important quality, smooth, reach the hands forwards. Make the arms and torso long, reach the arms back, brace the upper body with the hands, relax the leg if possible, let the ribcage sink down. So you can repeat that a few times over the course of a few days during your practice, just doing seated poses. And then from there, what you could do is you could press the leg down, open the chest, reach the hands forwards. And then from there, what you can try and do is relax the leg so your ribcage sinks down. Press the leg down, lift the ribcage up, relax the leg, press the leg down. Another option is let your ribcage sink down. Try to keep the leg relaxed. Slowly relax the arms, so the arms are no longer supporting the ribcage. Slowly relax the arm. Notice my ribcage sinks down. Lift the hands. Your ribcage will sink down deep, and you'll find quite an intense stretch in your hamstrings. Open your chest. If you like to increase the weight of the stretch, to increase the weight of your body, to increase the effective weight of your body, reach the arms forward. You may find that deepens the stretch quite a bit. So just to review, the first step is to work on stability. Brace the leg first, open the chest, and then lift the hands. If you want to add weight so your hamstring works harder, reach the legs forward. Then rest with your hands on the floor. You may find you can sink your chest down. Once you're used to that, you can either keep the leg relaxed and lift the arms, or brace the leg, reach the arms forward, and then try to relax the leg to increase the stretch to the hamstrings. To stretch both legs at the same time, you can again have the legs wide, 90 degrees. You can have them slightly closer or slightly further apart. Bend forward. If you are still having difficulty bending forward, try the knees bent first. You can pull the fronts of the feet back a little bit or have them reaching forward. Experiment. But at any rate, for this variation, press the heels down so your legs are strong. Open your chest, lift the hands. And then from there, reach the hands forward, reach the hands back. Brace with the arms. Slowly use your arms to slowly lower the rib cage if possible. Brace with the legs, open the chest, lift the hands, reach them forward, back, down, relax. Work towards, when you're able, try it with the legs straight. Same action, press both legs down. So press the backs of the knees down, quads active, reasonably active. Open the chest, lift the hands, reach them forward. Try to make your arms and spine feel long, hands back, and then relax down. So repeat that any number of times, slowly going lower as you are able. And then the other option, press the legs down, chest lifted, arms up. Try to relax the legs. Brace the legs, relax the legs, brace the legs, relax the legs, brace, and so on. One other action, you can do the same thing with the legs about hip width apart. Another action, we've already talked about using the hip flexors to help you bend forward. Another action is to use the arms instead. For this option, the idea is to pull the arms upwards as if pulling your big toes out of your feet. And so using the strength of the arm and the back to increase the forward bend. If you can't, you can grab onto the sides of the feet if you like, the big toe. The ankles, use a strap. All of those are options. So for this one, press the knees down, open the chest. Grab onto the toes. Open the chest, and then from there, gradually pull up with the arms, and then relax. Press the knees down so the back of the legs are active. Open the chest, pull up with the arms, and then relax. I suggest keeping the back of the legs active so that your hamstrings are working against your arms, but the arms are a little bit stronger so that you actually bend your hips forwards. One final action that you can do, lie on your back for a bridge pose. Have your feet close enough that you can touch them with your hands, bend the elbows. From there, just press your hips up. You can move your shoulder blades together. Press your feet down into the floor, lift your hips higher. Press your elbows and shoulders down into the floor. Open your chest. You can actively bend your thoracic spine backwards. For more of an opening in your chest, try to lift the head slightly so the front of your neck activates. And then use the front of your neck, the muscles at the front of your neck, to pull your chest toward your chin. You can hold this pose for any number of breaths. Wiggle the hips if you like. Try to make both sides of the waist feel even. Try to make both hips feel even. Another option, move the feet slightly closer towards each other. Lift one leg. So this leg has to be strong. This foot can reach up to the ceiling. And then you can place it back down, swap legs. This leg strong, this leg reaches up to the ceiling, so your hips are lifting high, your chest is still open, your arms are still active. Then put the foot down, swap legs a few more times, and then rest. If you like, rest with the reach your hands and legs up for a few moments just to recover. You can have your palms facing up, and then slowly lower your legs and your arms to the floor, and rest. So that's most of the actions that I use for helping to improve forward bending, hamstring flexibility. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the comments form or use the comments form and give me a shout. Also would like to hear if that helps at all. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Namaste.